y'all, it's Ilana. Welcome back to my channel. So we're going to be talking about Bama Rush today, how influencer culture has really taken over. I got a lot to talk about with this because once upon a time, hard to believe, I was a sorority girl. Delta Zeta, DZ all the way, hey! I was in a sorority once upon a time in college, and a lot has changed within the Greek system. I feel like this new generation of sorority girls has really made sorority life look kind of bad, especially with Bama Rush. And I got my own thoughts and feelings. I didn't go to the University of Alabama, but I did go to a smaller southern school in Virginia. Well, it wasn't small. It was a medium-sized campus. The recruitment process was totally different than Bama Rush, but there were still a lot of superficial things regarding Greek life there, and I just feel like that's kind of how it is everywhere. But what I will say is I was in my sorority for 3 years, from 2011 to 2014, and influencer culture was not a thing back in the day. And it is wild how influencer culture has made its way to Greek life, specifically sorority recruitment at the University of Alabama. We didn't have TikTok, we barely had Instagram. Facebook was still our primary platform for uploading anything sorority recruitment related or Greek life related. Bama Rush talk has gotten a little bit out of hand, and it is really weird how a bunch of middle-aged women are rooting for women that they don't even know. We're going to talk about that later. But I want to say that this video isn't going to be pointing out like the problematic things about Greek life in general and just the problematic stuff that happens at the University of Alabama Greek life. I know that there's been a lot of systemic racism that's happened within the system. There's the machine, which is like this really unhinged, like secret society at the Alabama that controls anything related to the Greek life system. We're not going to get into that. There's plenty of videos and content out there regarding that. But we're not here to talk about just like the problematic stuff regarding Greek life at Alabama. We're here to just strictly talk about what's been going on social media regarding Bama Rush sorority recruitment. And I feel like just nobody's talking about the influencer culture regarding this. And I just got a lot to say, so stay with me if you're ready to listen to my 2 cents. When did Bama Rush become so viral on TikTok? It started in 2021. Sorority recruitment was picking back up again, especially within the South, and TikTok just decided to blow it up. They were so interested in what that process looked like for women going through the process and seeing if they would find their home or not. Basically, what Bama Rush videos look like are women simply sharing their OOTDs or outfit of the days, and they would list where everything was from. They would do this for every single round that they went through. They tried to not really talk about too much about like what houses they went to. It was simply just about sharing their outfits, which may not seem like a big deal, but it gets a little bit more complex than that. And then eventually, the last videos that they would share of their Bama Rush series would show them where they found their home in a sorority and share their bid day process and them opening up their envelopes so they can reveal what sorority they joined. Pretty soon, the internet was really eating it up, and girls who were going through Bama Rush in 2021 started to blow up on TikTok and gain a following, and then it just became a trend for the next couple of years. So then in 2022, we had a new group of women coming through the process, and that is where we met our Bama Rush golden girl, Kylan Darnell. She was the main character of Bama Rush in 2022. She has a little over like 960,000 followers, and she's now a verified TikTok creator simply because she went through Bama Rush. This is the wild shit that I am talking about. We tend to just turn these girls into celebrities overnight to the point where they get a blue check mark next to their name on TikTok. It is freaking wild. Now, I will say Kylan wasn't just some random, normal, ordinary girl. She was competing in like teen pageants in Ohio. I believe she's held some titles. So she probably has garnered some fame through that, which obviously made her look even more desirable as a PNM because of her status. She may not be the best example, but she's still one of those girls that we continued to idolize and make her own little personal celebrity out of. And then in 2023, we had a new group of girls, specifically a couple of girls that people were really looking out for was Bama Morgan and Bella Grace. Bella Grace gained popularity just by simply going, "Good morning!"
Good morning!
Sharing her OOTDs. And people thought she was this cute, sweet little girl, even though they don't know anything about her. And then there was Bama Morgan, who was unfortunately dropped from the process. And she actually went through the process again this year, and we're going to talk about that just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. And I feel like the reason that people always want to follow these girls on TikTok through their process is because people have so many mixed opinions and thoughts and feelings regarding sororities in general. People see sororities as mean girls, that they're vapid and shallow, that they find their lives to be so wild and interesting, and they're curious to learn more. And I think that also depends on who you are and where you live, because sororities are typically an American thing, and you don't really find them anywhere else. My problem is with the fact that TikTok has personally made Bama Rush, and pretty much Bama Rush only, a reality TV show, so I want to get into that now. It really drives me crazy that women of all ages, especially women who are so far removed from college, myself included, watch these girls and basically blow these girls up overnight, make them social media famous, simply because they shared their OOTDs and all of the content they want to share during the recruitment process. As I just stated, it is really wild how women who are so far removed from college are idolizing these women, rooting for them when they don't even know a single thing about them. They just see a couple of seconds on TikTok. They think they know everything about this girl. They think that this girl is so sweet and deserving of going into a sorority when they know nothing about the person. And it's created this weird parasocial relationship dynamic, and it has to stop. It's really creepy and weird. It absolutely is. Why do you care about 18-year-old girls going through this process? A lot of these have just showed up on my For You page against my will, but I also was a sorority girl, so of course, like, for me, it has some sort of interest because I was in a sorority, so I feel like it's a little different when you were in a chapter, but at the same time, I don't idolize these women. I think the only one that I did follow was Kylan, but other than that, I don't follow any of these other girls who are going through recruitment. I don't even follow Bama Morgan. I don't follow Bella Grace. I don't follow these other girls that went through the process simply because it's fucking weird. So now I need to talk about Bama Morgan. So Bama Morgan went through recruitment again this year. She's kept saying how she learned so much. She is sharing like what she's not going to be doing, all the mistakes that she's learned, and she wanted to make sure that she was going to get it right this time. Well, unfortunately for her, she got dropped from the process again, and she didn't make it to the sisterhood round. And there are so many people on the internet being like, stop with this whole ride at dawn nonsense. You don't know Morgan. You don't know why she got dropped. People want to act like they know the reasons as to why she got dropped. Like, oh, she's a sophomore, but she has credits that make her a junior. Or, oh, I heard her GPA was really bad, or that she's just a liability, blah, 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 blah. People just want to act like they know everything about her when they don't know jack shit about this girl. They like to think that they know everything about this girl. Even if those reasons were true, why do you care? Why do you care? You don't know Morgan. Also, when you say comments like, we ride at dawn, we need to harass these sorority women for not letting her get into a sorority, that hurts this poor girl even more, and she becomes a PR liability for these chapters, and it only hurts her even more to the point where it's gonna get her blacklisted when she didn't want that in the first place. Now, she has mentioned that she does want to get an opportunity to do continuous open bidding, where there's a potential chance that she could informally rush a sorority after the process is over if there are sororities who didn't meet quota. Well, of course, I'd like to see her join a sorority because I know the feeling of being dropped from the process, because fun fact, I did go through the process my freshman year and I didn't get into a chapter, but then I tried again and I found my home. So I was really lucky that I did get a chance to go through the process and was successful. While I can feel bad and I can empathize with Morgan, I just want to say that I'm not going to be like, oh, we right at dawn, because it's fucking weird. We need to stop creating these parasocial relationships amongst any woman that is on Bama Rush TikTok right now going through this process, because it just hurts them even more. As girls started gaining momentum and popularity through Bama Rush TikTok, brands decided they wanted a piece of the action, and this shit really pisses me off. And no, I'm not jealous. Again, we didn't have lots of social media. Influencer culture wasn't a thing. Brand deals weren't really a thing when I was going through recruitment at the time. I just hate that brands decided that they wanted to get involved with Bama Rush. And this is the shit that really bothers me, because then they started sending just normal, regular girls PR packages to help them with recruitment, as if they didn't own makeup already that they were using to get ready for the process. It made me really mad that brands decided to insert themselves into a situation that they had no business being a part of regardless. Tarte is one of the biggest offenders, where they started creating PR packages for girls going through Bama Rush and Bama Rush only. Imagine you go through a recruitment process at a big SEC school like Alabama, where recruitment is still really competitive. Bama is, according to just like the world, is that it's the most cutthroat competitive process. You want to know something about the University of Indiana? Their recruitment process is just as hard and competitive, and nobody gives a shit about Indiana Rush. Because maybe it's because it's Indiana, but it's a Big Ten school. It is a big school that has an insane recruitment process, and brands don't seem to give a shit when girls go through that process. Only Bama Rush and Bama Rush only gets the brand recognition, and only the girls going through that process get those PR packages that they don't need to be receiving in the first place. Brands would start reaching out to these girls to collab with them during recruitment, sharing these collaborations, asking them to make last-minute videos to share these PR packages and use the Bama Rush hashtags. And you want to know something? That is so stupid. I don't think these brands realize that they're actually hurting these girls in the process. Again, it becomes a PR liability, and it also sends the wrong impression that you need to have a big following and receive PR in order to be worthy of joining a sorority. And that is not what sorority life is about. And it sends the wrong message to young women who are interested in a sorority, or people who already hate sororities to begin with. It makes Greek life look even worse when brands insert themselves into this situation, because they want to be snakes and they want to take advantage of these women and promote products because they're blowing up on TikTok right now. And it is gross. I really hate everything about it. And also, just imagine you are a girl going through recruitment, let's say at Auburn or the University of Florida, that have big competitive recruitments, and you see that you're not getting sent any PR by brands like Tarte, but only the Alabama girls are. Imagine how that is going to make you feel. It makes you feel like your school's recruitment is not worthy of getting attention, and that you're not worthy of a PR package simply because you didn't go to the University of Alabama. I can't imagine how damaging that must be for someone where they're like, well, why are they getting this and not me? Why are they special and why am I not special? Is my sorority recruitment process not special or good enough for them? And sadly, that answer is no, because it's not the University of Alabama. And that's just shitty. I'm just gonna say it. Brand involvement within sorority recruitment is just simply problematic. Altered State has started sending out PR packages to girls who were going through Bama sorority recruitment, and they got these packages before. I don't know how Altered State found out about these girls going through Bama Rush unless if these girls posted that they were doing this. Alter State has really inserted themselves in, and it's one thing that if there are a lot of girls who are doing their OOTD saying that they're wearing a dress from Altered State. I have one dress from Altered State, and let me just tell you, Altered State's quality is terrible. My dress has a hole in it, and I honestly just want to like throw it away because it's such poor quality. They keep commenting on so many women saying good luck, good luck, good luck. And not all these women are even like sharing that they're wearing an Altered State dress or article of clothing or accessory in the video. And you might be thinking, oh, well, the brand's just being nice. Yeah, because the brand wants to cash in on the fun and take advantage of these girls and ask them to post content maybe later on, when women should not be doing any brand deals during recruitment, especially when it's related to recruitment in general. That is going to hurt them. And there's a difference between just doing a regular brand deal during recruitment as long as it's not related to recruitment. Like, let's say you already are an influencer and you're going through Bama Rush. Let's say Nurex wants to sponsor them on TikTok and they make a video on Nurex and just promoting that. I don't see the harm in that, but when you make brand deals related to recruitment or how this brand is going to better you in recruitment in some way, that is where things become really problematic, and again, it becomes a PR liability. Because these women should not be focusing on things like that during recruitment. I think it's best that women stay off from posting on social media and then eventually reveal what they wore during every round after the process is over. And then they share, oh, by the way, here's my bid to this chapter. This is where I joined. Because then you're not a PR liability. You weren't hurting your chances. I think it's so important that potential new members be very, very careful about their social media, because the women in sororities are literally the FBI. They will stalk you from bottoms up to see what kind of things you're posting on social media. If there's any information about you online, trust me, they care all about your digital footprint. So the less digital footprint you have, the better. And making your profiles private is going to be the next best thing. And there's an argument saying, oh no, they should keep their profiles public so the girls can see their personality. Honestly, I think it's best that you just hide the stuff in the sorority so they don't have any biased opinions about you and they can just simply get to know you and who you are in the process, as that's how it should be. And despite what social media thinks and how it's portraying girls going through this process, sorority life and joining a sorority is not about your follower count. And TikTok is making it look like only the girls who have high followings and those who are getting lots of views from their OOTD rush videos are blowing up. They're the girls who are going to get bids, and that's just simply not true. There are over 2,000 women who join a chapter at Alabama, and I can guarantee you not all 2,000 of them are making videos every single day on TikTok sharing their outfits. Only the girls that are doing that are doing it because they want to participate in a trend, and that's perfectly fine. But I do think that there are some risks that are involved when it comes to participating in that trend, especially when people are rooting for you and then you get dropped and then the internet goes crazy there, and then they're like, we ride at dawn, and then they start harassing sorority women, and then it just makes the girls look bad because it makes it sound like that these girls rallied up some troops to fight for them when that's just simply not the case. Please stop with the whole ride at dawn stuff. Stop with the parasocial relationships. Brands, stay the fuck out of sorority recruitment. Stop sending PR packages to these girls. They don't need them. They shouldn't be getting them. And I find it to be really unfair to girls who are rushing at other chapters who are not getting this kind of attention. And I just think it's bullshit. The last final thoughts I have with this is I do think Bama Rush lately, especially Bama Rush talk, has been really hurting Greek life and making it even worse. People already have such negative opinions regarding Greek life and sororities in general. I love being in a sorority, and yes, I did have my drama, and I've exposed my drama and my tea on my podcast before if you want to listen to that episode, but I still loved being in a sorority. Would I probably do it today? No, because I don't even think that my alt ass would even get into a chapter at an SEC school. But if anyone is alt going through this process, please let me know. I'd love to talk to them or just see what they're about. But anyway, going back to my point here, Bama recruitment isn't how all sorority recruitment at other schools look like. Every school does their process differently. My school we did not have a lot of chapters. When I went through, it was 5. Now my school has 6. They used to have 7, and then one of them lost their charter. But the process is very different, and the process is only a weekend long. Some schools just do it over the weekend. Some schools do it before their winter semester starts, like schools like Virginia Tech or anyone that does recruitment in the spring. Also, not all schools have houses. My school did not have houses. I'm just saying it's not an accurate representation of how sorority recruitment looks like. It's just this school in particular. Alabama's sorority life as a whole doesn't accurately reflect what sororities are like in general. It's not all pretty blondes who are Southern belles. It's just not. Not every sorority is full of blondes. Like, let me tell you, I was from a bottom chapter, and not a single fucking word in the comments about that. I was fine with joining my bottom chapter, okay? And you know what? We were not all pretty blondes. Even the top tier chapters at my school were not all pretty blondes either. The sororities at my school were actually pretty diverse, wildly enough, because my undergrad was actually a pretty diverse campus, which was something that I really liked about my school. Anyways, I'm just saying, like, it's not all pretty blondes. It's not an accurate representation of sororities as a whole. I do think that the University of Alabama sorority recruitment does make sororities look very superficial and vain, especially because every single girl that you see on TikTok all just looks the same. They're all blondes. They're all pretty blondes. How do these girls look so beautiful at 18 years old? I looked terrible when I was 18. I was not a cute looking girl. I just think it makes girls feel some kind of way about their looks. I think it creates a lot of insecurities, and if you don't meet the pretty skinny blonde aesthetic, then it makes girls think like, oh, they're not worthy of joining a chapter, and that's just simply not true. There are girls who aren't blonde and skinny that look like Southern belles who do get accepted into chapters at the University of Alabama, but social media is making it to seem that way, and I don't like that. I don't like that that's the impression that it gives off of sororities, that you have to be a pretty blonde to get into a sorority. Bama Rush has put perspective of sorority life as that you need to have some sort of aesthetic, and that joining a chapter at the University of Alabama is now a way of like becoming an influencer and creating this curated lifestyle, when that's not what being in a sorority is supposed to be about. And it makes everything seem wildly inauthentic when it shouldn't be. You absolutely should still be yourself when joining a chapter, and I just feel like Bama Rush has just really lost the plot, and I also just hate that TikTok has also made sorority recruitment at the University of Alabama look really bad too. But I do think that Bama Rush still plays a role into that in general, and it's not just all TikTok's fault here. But those are my thoughts and feelings. I know I was a little over the place here. Again, that's just having ADHD. But I'm curious to know if you're in a chapter and if sorority recruitment was like this at your school, or maybe you just don't like sororities in general. I mean, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. I was in a sorority and it's fine. I was happy with it, but I understand why people criticize Greek life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!